Good morning, friends. My name is Still Rustlin. I welcome you to my YouTube channel. I am already 7.5 years in the SH, and I am engaged in air conditioning systems, Electrics Flamingo, and will soon be getting a license general contract. I have more licenses in the states of Texas and Florida, and soon I will have another license in the state of Hawaii. I am the only Russian-speaking blogger in the SHA who collects licenses, and duplexes are my shoes. By the way, and so it turns out that here we see trash cans in the SSH, and taken out completely. You think it's free? And shit, they're garbage cans, and their removal is paid for with property tax, and in the state of California, the property tax is as much as 16 to 100% of the value of that shed. This barn cost me $84,000. I bought it last month. It's easy to guess that property taxes are going to be like this. So all this garbage is being taken out for me. Well, almost intangibly intangible, because I pay my property tax semi-annually and I deposit it with the county, which is some kind of village council that collects money from the public. That's the money the county village council uses to haul away trash like this. The trash cans are smarter than the whole 2 pieces for the... of recyclables and 3 tanks. I have one here for blackness. Blackness is used for all sorts of thrash that just isn't recyclable. Dig a hole and then bury it. And it's all completely free. What is not included everything else. That is, electricity is paid separately. Gas is paid separately here. For example, there is such a gas meter from the liver company. It's called gas deliveries to the electrician. It's probably called something else in other states. For example, Santa Clara in the city is a company called Conavali Power. And here there is an electric meter that automatically sends the data to the company that provides electricity. It has a built-in SIM card, which through the transmission of mobile data transmits the data to the company that sends the bill. The invoice is sent electronically by mail, i.e. email. Soon, this house will have electric solar panels installed by my company. I ordered a 6-kilowatt solar installation, which roughly will produce about 25 amps at peak load. I mean, here's June 2, which I'm getting ready to fully turn in, and here it all is. It's all about to end outrageously soon. This is the answer to the picture it printed. It's a mock-up of Manhattan. This thing right here, this is the frame for this painting. Oh, some building's broken. While that's going on, there's another building to look at itself called the Twin Towers. Yesterday, Lena put a sticker on my back. It rained. Well, and in short, something went wrong, such friends of business. Because the glass changed Tesla, she tile remained on the old glass previous, and here is a new sticker came out to me sideways, but Hellenic. The Secret Club. Dear friends, while here you are and driving in traffic jams, using Magic Streak, stolen, wanted to reflect on a topic like this. Here today, our esteemed dude, the project manager, came in and said, I want to quit. Because the pay is small, I've driven a lot of miles, I'm hitting $400 a month in gas. I asked him, what do you want? That he wished he had a bigger paycheck or something? I'll tell you a story like that. A lot of people who come to us in the company They're real young men. They're out there crossing the border through Mexico and trying to get jobs here. Now for the moment specifically. Jobs Bay, specifically, everyone was cheering few jobs, very few. All tech companies like Google, Apple, and so on and so forth. They are cutting their costs. They are laying people off. The rest of T Company is laying people off too, so somewhere to go. I think it should drive you very hard, because there are a lot of people in the marketplace right now who have the kind of knowledge, skills, and experience that basically our guys just haven't even dreamed of here. Jobs specifically at some technology companies. I mean, there's Apple dolls and so on and so forth. At Facebook, Tesla, they all have the same requirements. Work experience, experience in it, dude, as a project manager is awesome experience. If you have at least worked there for 23 years in one company, it will be a good, so to speak, good basis for you to get a job in some other company where you can also work for 23 years. Many guys who come here without experience, without documents and so on, somehow get a job with us, work there for a year and say they are not satisfied with something. Here he came, crossed the border, and by some happy accident, he got a job with us. Perhaps someone dragged him to us by the pen, for example. As was the case with this man who brought his resignation today, I won't talk specifically his first name, last name, a fine professional. Bologna, us, and the dude stalker was going to move on to Carpenter's. We poached him. You're the manager's guide, dude. And what happened is that he became dissatisfied with the existing, well, he kind of has a paycheck salary of $8 an hour, $1,000. A man who didn't know anything before is now making $8,000 to $10,000 a month. I think that's a hell of a salary. What's the outlook? I just wanted to speculate about prospects. Where he might be taken. He can be taken to any company that has a very large structure. Prospects where it's more difficult are likely to break through. It's going to be harder to make the kind of money he made with us. As I've said before, there's a great saturation of class specialists of the entire market right now considering it. Not much work experience at all in the US, somewhere around maybe less than a year and a half. Slowly he will have some success. Maybe he will be lucky. I really hope so. For example, today we were talking to a US person for over 5 years and we have a job coming in. That there for a rate of $18 an hour. $18 an hour is somewhere around $1,000 a month on such an initially, so to speak, position spermine department, or a person shows himself very well and there is a desire to increase his salary, but it still will not be immediately $1,000. If a person has any desire to change something, it is just awesome, especially when young, because when you are 40, 50 years old, you absolutely do not want to move anywhere. Even me. Now I'm 38 years old, I'm doing something Shebok show, so on, but I realize that I'm a little more and I've had enough of the plan, what I get, and so on. I will, of course, still keep learning because learning always comes in handy. It's always interesting. Yeah, I mean, a person just comes, crosses the border, joins us to work, and he gets into some kind of hothouse conditions. He doesn't have to learn English right away. He gets into a Russian-speaking environment where he is paid normally. Not everyone can be said to be lucky, and basically does his good work. The thing is, I'm going to tell a different story now, a little bit of history. On the other hand, you have today, he hasn't seen the guys yet. What those guys go through who are generally trying to get somewhere on their own, without relatives, without referrals. First, they experience difficulties, working there in Uber, working on YourDash, then looking for some work on construction sites additionally, some Honda names become, begging somewhere, and so on. And so that's a lot of luck if things go your way and you happen to have an entrepreneurial mindset. I won't point fingers before the person who got that way. I was lucky. I was lucky enough to listen to that too, that I happened to have an entrepreneurial mindset. And then I had to do a little bit of reformatting there. God willing, these people will do well. They come out of our Huzzah greenhouse and into somewhere else in space. And today, Stas is like this. He says he sold the car to his ex-girlfriend. Sold the car to some of our Holter, who, by some coincidence, quit us. Well, says something, I do not like the work. Prospects are like this, I will still work as a carpenter all my life. And he uses this car, which he bought from Stasman, for about 3 months, and he had some territorial happened with this car, and this car was evacuated. And he calls Stas, because the car is still on Stas, and says, I need help with such come. They talk. Well, what says Stas asked, and where do you work? And how is it that he hasn't gotten a job anywhere? I mean, he's just been sitting around for 2 months without a job, and when we had him working, the helper, he was getting us up to $800. The day seems fine. I mean, even right there, $250, $300 a day to get a helper. Yes, it's not the most awesome job, but at least you can learn something to learn some new skills, which in principle will always be useful here in America. 2 months, sits without a job and says, I'm a year already thin, a year only says to what only positions did not send in his resume. No one got me on my, I hear no one, I fucking do not need. What I want to say, I want to wish this man good luck, that he was all right and he managed to get a job. Because we as a company, Hughes, if we have a person left, we won't take such a person back from us. We won't take a liar from such people. If anything, if a person is good, if he failed somewhere in there, we can hire him back, friends of thought. What do you think about that? And it's not against it in principle. The fact that guys are leaving here, America, land of opportunity, work wherever you want, but you also want to give people the realization that it's not all smooth sailing everywhere, and basically, Focus is a pretty fucking awesome company. Nice company, how so? I've come home, I'm going to show you something. It's melting. Maybe firewood. Dwelt package parquet has very camp to all tar lemon, but Gorkin there to the ocean. Very land a camera there is a broker I see. Good afternoon, yes. Broken, that grands don't bode well. Why would you want to level this thing so that here are the kids riding here? But here, you see, I have a fence. Well, I mean, they built me a fence to live here tense. And there that the children ride back and forth, I really have a little bit. Of course, not as everything turns out as I wanted, and all sorts of different thoughts arise in the process of already here living existence. You see, in the light here, this fence is really cool. In the world. Here is the fact that the fence is gone, in general became awesome. So much space has become now, I have a task, what a task I have, to remove this bumper magic and install there, hatch receiver. If I can, if not, I will have to continue this ugliness for another time. So on the ramp went a lot of places to do this, for this case for the second time in my life. But the first time in my life I did on a different car, which was an older model. Now it looks extremely depressing in terms of the fact that it's not clear where to start, because you have to take it apart. I think I just fucking want to capture this solemn moment so badly. This bumper, here's my most beautiful one through itself on 2 balls. Now the bullshit is set, everything's gonna be fine. The predatory server is stopped now, it's all parsley that needs to be put back together. The work is beautifully done. Even the trunk works after that, shake went, but goes by the fact of optimization. The whole assembly is much easier to disassemble compared to the previous version. That's 100%, because my skill at picking apart anything has only gotten worse. Therefore, the car is extremely simplified directly. It can be felt in every detail. Moreover, there are no Parktronics, so the 3 disassembly was simplified to minimize as much loss as possible from the bottom. All the bolts also somehow they're decreased, the amount of 1 bolt, which holds held on. The tin, it broke it all, so fuck, no big deal. No load that heavy because it's a lot of bottom there, so overall, I can say I put it back together almost better than it was at the factory. Well, plus minus as well, so I am satisfied with my work, and I can say that it certainly looks extremely depressing. It's all business, but for the sake of such functionality, you can make the sacrifice of urban looks. Yay! Anyway, everybody's not switching, so what's going on here? Do you know Russian stats? A robe. Money. Handicapped? No. Now offer fell out the yard. They gave them a plant. Yes, we have Wick. He built even fucking. Used to be overbearing, often Beta Ford, soon to be casual teapot. The process is simple. Shikarni will shoot and Lara step back, step back, step back. So time 0636. And the hut's already built, guys. Lois Gerard's husband's gone. We literally started there from noon for 06 Nari. Such a hut worked in 4. Everything I wanted I got. I was planning on actually just putting some plastic ones in. Then talked to Lewis. He says, why would you plastic do it normally? Come on, do it, and it will be normal made here. This is the beauty can be, so to say. The door got me completely free. I paid only for materials and for the work, he said. I don't have to pay anything. They didn't take any money. They said, let's make a barter. I'll need an air conditioner at home. Where he lives, he says I'll need to install an air conditioner there. Lucia, stop. Klitschka, let's go home. Let's go here. Counted. Somehow, miraculously, we ended up with Yaroslava. Beautiful city, the hero of Las Vegas. In order to get this ball is called Las Vegas Sphere. And to look at it today, we climbed on this Ferris wheel, and quite impressive looks, this ball. Of course, given the amount of money spent on it. Write in the comments how much money was spent on it to build it, because there is no such sphere anywhere else in the world tomorrow. We're going to get in. For you, it's literally going to happen on a click, or there's literally a few moments. I'll show you something very incredible going on inside. It's really just a big giant TV. Saying this little one is just a light bulb, united between each other, and the distance between them is probably 5 balls. The kind of pandemonium that forms. It's just crazy. It's kind of ill-conceived. That's the kind of TV friends we have holograms call it. Hologram Gala. The word hungry, the tickets cost $120 with tax. For 2 people cost $300, and that's not even the Trumpiest of places. The cheapest ones were $69. The most expensive ones were like $220. This is not Dubai, Comrade Dennis. For this you Las Vegas here, so here is your Dubai, such as not we, so-called sphere, as you have a feeling Yaroslav will vomit scary. Now vomit will say, oh, well, everything is clear. Ruslan is already just very sharply downhill. Peonies slope very, very high, straight up, very strong slope. There is a slope of more than 45 degrees to the horizon. I think, although yes, about, well, more than 45 degrees, very narrow steps down, looking straight. Yes, there you have to be very careful with children. It is very difficult to come if they are very small somewhere. I think you have to come from 57 years old at least. That's what the Ninebot's called. Oleg is very careful. All right, you be quiet. That power, chocolate. Come on, let's get some more food and beer. We're regulated to Russian Jamil's full series, yes? So we've got the next surprise from today, and I'm the second Sobchak today. Habits. Come on, this is gonna work. Since this is an enforcer. Ooh, go here, guys, points. This is certainly an exhibit. Well, that Amir, like after the 30th, you can already climb in it when it will be Villa's worth. Frickin' want to pay special attention to the fact that the assembly of this particular machine is very even, despite the fact that the internet wrote that there are a lot of joints, and here these joints are almost not visible, except for the fact that here, right here in millimeters, a little thicker, and here a little thinner, lighter. When you take like this machine, yes, life size. Of course, it's huge. And if you compare it to the 50 fund, but it's probably about the same in the museum, it seems bigger. But here it's a hell of a lot smaller, but it's still huge. Especially when you look at this main Viper. I mean, these wipers, they're just, of course, huge. It's just a cape of people here is normal and not so many, so in general it's okay. So the kids went. This one came off, the belt came off. So we've got a new chorus we're gonna use right away. I don't need it, I don't need it. I'm here. I'll take it. Anyway, the Tesla just fell apart in the middle of the road. Oops. Just drove and 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 drank. By the way, I posted a story on Instagram about it. Now, my uncle told me to get the car off him so I don't accidentally get fucked up just driving around with a sound like that. And that's it. All right, Chuckles. Tesla Power is new. And I was driving on autopilot right in the middle of the road. No. A man was driving right here, right next to me, says, "What does he say happened?" I say, generally just stalled. She says, "All right, I'll help you out." Well, that's the word. She started eating Subway riders a little over a month, Tesla, for 1,000 called such pies. She got a cancer on this. Tesla content did not take long. I didn't bother anybody, and then this happened. New car, green trees. It happens, you get to the Enterprise. To promptly take any car turned out to be, this is the most beautiful Chinese Nissan Frontier for charging up to Tesla, and I will. Waiting for a tow truck so much was today's plans, and everything broke down, broken battery can. By the way, broke down because of that Predator. North stop. He's got them in the engine compartment somewhere. He's got them in the writer's room, and he's broken everything. Of course, there could be such a thing, but that will be found out in the course of diagnostics. He's in the front now, couldn't take it, so he'll take it. Ass! Still getting the Sassafras add-on bus. Plan Mansold. See, here's the brandy. Plan come to take it all here. He'll be right there. Before Tesla services attack here, Tesla supports sexuality. Slendery guy and a place to life says, Michael Tower Service Center. From this one I find closed place tanker short, I thought I'd make it to El Dorado Hills in time. I guess I won't have time for shit because the car has to be brought to Tesla service with the catering company. With this pickup, which about now it's going to give me, by the way, I got a call from Tesla saying we're going to give you a different car. So I got this Nissan for nothing, which should have just been done. Turns out I should have just stupidly waited for the towing guy to drag it to the nearest service. But I didn't know that's why. Dom Mal quickly, such a smart, beautiful drove to the waterfall, took the car from you, it turns out. It is in fact an unnecessary action occurred because yes, now immediately told me that will be provided in the car for replacement. That's how the experience will be fun, if due to the installation, although there is almost nothing touched, how can the stator and rotor fall apart, or their gearbox is likely to have fallen apart. That's how San Francisco happened too. By the way, here's one. Well, it's a normal car, even George D. off the strip, such a sad sight of the native Dalmy Short, managed to very beautiful. Very much so. Very such came modules do not float. It is necessary to all settings of their now here in load. They are already here and already loaded, all automatically, all loaded, all settings, even how sits, the seat gave up the fuck. This, of course, the car, this is not himself, cost me this Nissan $273, damn, who knew? But alive and well could happen that I was still screwed well. The dude immediately got right savior, angel savior, and he, by the way, $200. Sammy gave, and he's such a negative, it's supposedly free, absolutely must do. I wouldn't give a shit about thanking him so much. I'm sending him good vibes to San Jose. I'm going to fucking San Jose because the whole day's wasted. I drove to El Dorado Hills to shoot a video today, and it turned out to be a different content. Shitty content turned out that way, said to drive. Had a shit ton of time, asked the Tesla rep, and I say, does this happen often? He says it does. I would often, 1 month of service, it happens too. I said, what's going on? He says, we need to make it happen an hour more often so we understand. He says, what's the problem? Oh, you don't have a lot of information to think about. To understand what's wrong with this design, I basically asked how long this whole thing would take. They said, well, probably about a week. 23 to change it without a problem. The only thing is now we have to wait for the replacement part itself. It could be a week too will take to order her factory. Good thing they gave me the Woods mod. They are like the previous Time Model X overall. Okay. By the way, in the Tesla they gave me. It's a little kinda older because it's not 7,000 miles on the odometer, but I think it's also some sort of Lyman series thing in terms of someone turned it in. We've been hauling stuff around with the kids to our most beautiful shed. This is what my desk roughly looks like. But also here, probably somehow should fit bicycles, it is not clear yet how. Because here, in fact, it will be necessary to hang some shelves on top to all the good things. The bait had climbed, because now it's thrown up so far. So there's just basically everything. By the way, the air conditioning is just quiet, and because of what's here. Installed this bill, it's a bit now working out of order because there should be at least 4 feet as in front of it, but here now there are less. That's where I want to say goodbye to you in this video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you back here with you in California. Bye-bye.